sales is obviously an absolutely vital tool to get people across the line. But before they reach out to the sales department, how much of a decision do you think they've actually, well, how much of a, the decision have they made before coming to you?
Well, it depends. But very often what happens, if you think of when someone's buying something decent, there's a bit of pain going on and there's not enough pain. And all of a sudden, people think, oh, actually, there is enough pain. We need to act now. So the bosses tend to get the minions together and say to the minions, we need to get this sorted out, go to market and find a solution. Now, the boss might say to the minions, and I particularly like Simon's company to use that, in which case that's the end of the minions' work done. And sometimes the bosses say, I think the answer to this is a webinar. So go and find a webinar provider. So the traditional way of doing it, bosses call minions and minions go out and they're influenced by what the boss thinks. Now that's okay, but the trouble if you are then involved with a sale then is you are coming in when it's the minions, not the decision makers. And also they're kind of doing what the bosses are talking about, they think, so they're influenced by the bosses. And often minions are more cost conscious than sometimes bosses are, who sometimes are more value conscious. It depends on the organization, a massive generalization, but you know the point I'm making. So I had an email come through yesterday from an organization I've worked with in the past, from their central procurement person, with a very vanilla thing saying, we're looking for some training and sales presentation skills. Would you like to submit an RFP? And I just thought, nope. Because what's happened there is some boss at this organization has said to the people, go out, cast your net around and find some people who'll do. They might have said, I think you should use Andy Bounds. They might have said, I think you should use somebody else, but get 3 or 4 names. Andy Bounds will do. He'll probably drag everybody else's prices up or down, just whatever. And so I don't like coming in then. The great thing about what you're suggesting, the proactive way of approaching people, is you often get them before the pain has reached a big enough point, which is great because then you've saved them extra pain. Or you go to the bosses who before they go to the minions so you can influence that decision. The trouble with selling is if you go after the minions, you're talking to cost-conscious people who think they're doing what the boss wants. Actually, the main thing they're interested in is job preservation. So they're probably going to go with the company they feel is least risky to their careers. Well, that's not a very comfortable place to sell.